Hi, and welcome to the weekly love reading. My name is Cassie, and I'm the reader behind MomentsAre. So, thanks so much for joining me. For those of you who are regulars, I love having you back. You guys are great. And for those of you who are just joining me for the first time today, I hope you enjoy your reading. So, everything you need to know about me is in the description. That includes timestamps and all of that good stuff. I'm not going to go over too much of that, though. What we're looking at is the next 7 days ahead, and we are only looking at your love life, okay? So these cards are going to be giving you information about what to expect, what kinds of dynamics are going to be going on between you and your person, what kinds of dynamics are going to be going on in basically in what you're putting out and what you're attracting when it comes to love. And we'll also hopefully get some predictions, okay? That said, that's all I can really think of, so let's just dive right in, okay? So pile number 1 is the blue Lapis Lazuli. Pile number 2 is the pink rose quartz. Pile number 3 is the black Obsidian. Pile number 4 is the white Opalite. Pile number 5 is the purple, what's it called? Fluorite. And pile number 6 is the Bloodstone, all right? And it's like gray and red, okay? So that said, go ahead and pick whichever pile is kind of calling to you. Different people have different ways of picking. Some people go by rolling a die. Some people pick just one that they like the best. Some people always pick one number, and some people, just pick whichever, whichever pile, that just feels right, So use whatever method you use to pick whichever pile. Keep your person in mind, because if you have somebody you're interested in, this will give you some information about them too. If you have not picked your pile by now, go ahead and pause the video, because I'm going to start with pile number 1. Hi, those of you who picked the blue Lapis Lazuli, here is your reading. All right, so we have ego, we have the 9 of Pentacles, the 8 of Swords, and the 4 of Swords. Okay, for your first card, we have Mountain, and then we have the Clover. Okay, we have Giving and Receiving, and then we have Watch Your Thoughts. Okay, so I really feel like the Watch Your Thoughts and the 8 of Swords combined with ego is really letting us know that this week is going to be a big week when it comes to the way that your thoughts are shaping reality, okay? We have, this is a really good pictorial representation of analysis paralysis, or basically overanalyzing. When we just go around in circles trying to figure something out, typically it's something that we don't have a clear answer to. It's uncertain. It's but it's not just uncertain like it's difficult to predict. It's uncertain like maybe there is an answer out there and maybe somebody knows it, but it's like they're not telling you. And so you've got to fill in the blanks. And typically when we fill in the blanks and then we're just keep at it, we get ourselves kind of worked up about it. This is normal. This is human behavior. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. What happens though is that typically we kind of get stuck. Okay. And then our ego takes over and we start substituting what would normally be our beautiful intuition and our ability to read situations and kind of figure out how people are feeling. Instead of putting that there, we put our fears there. Okay, it's like, what if this is, what if this is in my head, or what if this isn't really happening, or what if I'm crazy, and things like that. Okay, so when we have the 8 of Swords coming up, especially with ego and Watch Your Thoughts, it kind of lets us know that this week, the next 7 days, you're going to be a little bit prone to negative thinking, which will then affect your mood, okay? So in order to get out of that mood, what you can do is try not to think so much, but, how do you tell somebody who wants to figure something out to just stop thinking, right? It's a little bit more difficult than that and more complicated. Basically, what you can do is you can distract yourself by finding a TV show to binge watch, finding a new app or a new game to play, that kind of stuff. You can distract yourself like that, or you can start working on yourself and just know that right now isn't the time to be thinking about relationships. It's just not the ideal time right now to put your effort towards that, because what you're supposed to be doing is making yourself very attractive. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. This is what this card kind of means in the romantic sense, to making yourself attractive, showing that you have a lot to offer, showing that you you are willing to take your time and all of this kind of stuff. Basically get into that attitude that you don't need somebody needs you, okay? And they need you because you have all of these great attributes, okay? It's also a really good time to rest, okay? Instead of working ourselves up and not getting rest and getting stressed instead, what you can do is just focus on, this week isn't demanding a whole lot out of me. So this week, what I can do is work on my talents, work on things that I'm good at, work on the things that I can tell somebody who I want to be with in the future, this is what I did this week, and all of that kind of stuff. For those of you who are already paired up, just know that your person is going to be a little bit difficult to read. They're most likely difficult to read because there is some kind of block up. And I'm saying that because we have the mountain. But see, the mountain is followed by the clover. And I just want to point out that the block, okay, it's like preventing you from this little bit of luck. But at the same time, the luck does come. It's almost like the mountain showing us that there's a delay. Okay, so look at the end of the week. So regardless of when you're watching this, look about 5 to 6 days from now for things to start improving a little bit. And they will. The give and receiving is another thing that I think is really important to point out, especially when we start overthinking, our ego gets involved, and we need to watch what we're thinking so that we don't, drive ourselves crazy, right? Giving and receiving is all about putting out as much energy as the other person is giving you, okay? When we decide to match the energy of the person that we're interested in, it will create it will either create a gap in that that person will realize that you're pulling back without it being, instead of saying, okay, well, I'm just not going to message them for a while, or I'm going to, leave them alone or whatever, say it as in like, okay, I'll just follow their lead. If they message me, then I'll message back. If they don't, then I'm not. And then in the meantime, do what you feel. Okay. If you feel like messaging them, go ahead. If you don't, then don't. Basically, don't put any extra effort, okay? Don't think about what you might say or what you might not say and that kind of stuff. That's still effort. Take away the effort that you're putting into this relationship and only match the person in how much effort you're willing to give. That person will immediately pick up that you're backing off in a different way, right? Than if you were to just say, well, I'm not going to say anything. It's a different kind of feeling for them. I don't know how people pick up on this. I'm not going to pretend to know what I don't know. I just know that this is a consistent phenomena across gender, time, history, and all of that kind of stuff. It just everywhere in the world, when a person pulls back, the other person feels like there's something going on. They want to step forward, okay? So basically just put in as much effort as your person is, or as the person that you're interested in is. If you don't have a person, focus on building up your skills and your hobbies and the things that you do well. Make yourself basically a more valuable person. And, regardless of whether you're paired up or not, this is something really good to work on. Take this week as a rest. I feel like this rest is really meaningful and it's important because what you're doing is that you're making sure that you're getting enough rest, because I feel like something else is going to happen, probably starting towards the end of the week, but going into the next week. So it's like this is a rest period before things start really getting very interesting. So that's what I would say for you, and when just kind of going back to this 8 of Swords energy and the watching your thoughts and with your ego involved, basically just know when you start to feel anxious, when you start to feel a little bit out of control and that kind of stuff, because you're thinking in what ifs, and those what ifs are scary, go ahead and go ahead and ask yourself stuff like, where is this coming from? Is this coming from me? Is this something I fear? Or is it coming from somewhere else? That way you can catch yourself, you can catch yourself kind of inserting your own will into things so that you can better read your own intuitive thoughts and feelings. Because when it comes from a place of intuition, it's calm. And there's a sense of acceptance about it, or this sense of inevitability about it. Like, it's like, this is going to happen. And it's not, and even when it's more negative, like even if it's a intuition about something that is more negative in the near future, what it is it's like there's this kind of reluctant acceptance. It's like, oh gosh, I know it's going to happen like this, and it's going to be terrible and all of that. But it's not like, oh my God, what if it happens like this? It's going to be horrible if it does, or it could happen like this. It's like, you don't bounce around. You don't get real stressed out about it. It's more like, oh no, it's going to happen. It's more like that. It feels more calm. And I really think that if we can practice differentiating between the two, we can really boost our own intuition that way. All right, guys. So in all, it doesn't really look like it's a week where you guys are going to get a whole lot of things done when it comes to like action, like anything actually happening, but you will be able to get a lot of rest and relaxation and work on yourselves, okay? And if you need any kind of advice in the meantime, of course, I do offer readings, private readings, and we can look a little bit more deep in your situation. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hi, those of you who picked the pink, here is what's going to happen. We have sparks. That's good. We've got the 3 of Cups, we've got Justice, we've got the 2 of Wands. This kind of is letting me know, those of you who watch my channel who are in long distance relationships, this might refer to you. If it doesn't, that's fine. I just know that there are some of you guys that do have that. We've got the Sun, we've got the Fish, Simply Love, and Father Healing. Okay, so I would imagine that regardless of whether or not you're in a current situation or not, you probably have some issues that have to do with your father that has to do with this particular situation, okay? If you're in a relationship with somebody, or if you're interested in somebody, they might be the one that has issues with their father. If you are not so much with somebody, you might have issues. But most likely the issues are going to be very polarizing. Either it's going to be that you have a really, really positive relationship with your father, or you have a really, really negative relationship with your father, or a male caretaker. For those of you who are adopted, or for those of you who may have spent more time being raised by maybe an uncle or a grandfather, something like that, or a stepfather. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Whatever information you've learned through that process is going to come into play. I wish I could get more specific, because I could see how somebody who maybe had some negative experiences might get the feeling that, oh, that means something bad's going to happen. Not necessarily. There's something you learned from this relationship that's going to help you, okay, this week. Gosh, I wish I could get more specific, but that's your advice right now, is just kind of think about the patterns that you've had with father figures. Think about the patterns you have if you have a deity and you worship and it's a male deity. Think about your relationship with that. Think about your relationship with male archetypes, for those of you who really like psychology and psychodynamics. And, or for those of you who don't, think about that. Think about, some people are really attracted to bad boys, and some people are attracted to good boys, and all of that kind of stuff. I understand that not everybody watching is a lady attracted to a man, but still there's some kind of masculine energy at play here that is going to inform some of your decisions, okay? And I just really want to make sure that's clear. that said, let's get back to the reading more the way that I typically do it. I'm going to put these two cards together just because they're both minor arcana. Okay, so I have somebody waiting, or somebody who wants to explore something outside of the world. Okay, like outside of their normal, their normal community, I suppose. Okay, so it's like we've got this person holding the globe, okay, and they've got this fiery, passionate rod energy or wand energy, depends on what you call it, right? We've got this person wearing red and orange. We've got a lot of passion here. This person's really passionate about either learning something that's on a global level, or somebody who wants to explore more about their knowledge. Either way, they are very passionate, and I feel like this represents your person, not you, okay? So understand that your person's going to be feeling maybe a little bit more spicy lately, okay? So that's good, right? If you are the kind of person that wants that. Then we've got the Three of Cups here. And I just want to say how sunny your cards are, especially given that we have the sun. And the sun is really cool in the Lenormand because it doesn't matter if the cards surrounding it are Lenormand or not. It always casts a positive glow on everything in the spread, okay? So not only is the sun saying something really positive about the fish, what represents money, but it's saying something positive about everything. So that's why I said, don't worry so much about the kind of relationship you had with a father figure, or the kind of relationship your person may be having with a father figure. Just know that it's going to be informative. It's going to shine light on this week for you. You're going to be able to use that knowledge in order to inform your decisions, okay? So we've got a lot of reds and oranges. We've got the sun, we've got passion and all of that. We've got the cups with water. We've got the wands with that fiery energy, the inspiration, the creativity, and we've got justice with this kind of balance between the head and the heart. And so we've got a lot of really great energy coming on. We also have sparks here. So we're talking a lot of fiery energy this week. Understand that fire acts as a catalyst to bring about change. And from the looks of it, change is going to be a very positive thing. Justice, in this case, typically talks about how, if you're not synced up with your person, things are going to start syncing up. If you don't have somebody around and you've been looking for a while, this person might present themselves to you this week, because we've got syncing up. We've got, this can both be waiting and can be somebody about to embark on a journey. It's almost like these wands are a door that either the person can step through, or the person can step back inside of, I guess, that room or that community they're typically in. It's basically going to be up to your person on which direction they're going to go. But either way, there's going to be celebration. There's going to be joy. There's going to be a very positive vibe about this week. I really feel also that for some of you guys might be interested in a friend, just because when I see the Three of Cups, I think a lot about friendship type energy. And I just want to say, I guess it depends on what kind of person you are, but it's been my experience, my personal experience, that relationships that begin in friendships tend to last longer and tend to be more bring more satisfaction. So if this is a person who you're already, if you're interested in a friend, your friend might start picking up, and start kind of showing some interest back if they haven't already. If you're interested in somebody and they've already, you know that they're into you and all of that, just know that things are going to just get a little bit more exciting this week. And for those of you who don't have somebody, just know that somebody's coming along soon, okay? There's definitely going to be somebody who's going to get your attention this week. With the sun and the fish, I think that it's really important for you to make sure that you are focusing a lot on prosperity, on abundance. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be about money, but typically the fish talks about money, right? But what I'm getting here is just, make sure that you're focusing on doing your own thing and being independent and taking care of yourself. it seems like that's the more practical area to focus on. Notice we do not have any pentacles here. So we do have this kind of thrown in, like, stay down to earth. You know, you've got all of this stuff happening in the ether, basically. So you've got to be, you know, you've got to keep making sure that you're using your resources well. Resources could be time as well. It could also be making certain that maybe if you have too much of something, getting rid of it, or if you have not enough of something else, trying to trade for it, or, you know, find a way to get more, that kind of stuff. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It typically is, though. With Simply Love, we have a situation where you're not going to have to put a lot of effort into figuring out how to act in this situation. And if you're the kind of person that typically thinks a lot about things before you act, and I mean, then you'd be like me, right? And, you know, but if you're like that, just know, really trusting in your instincts, instead of worrying so much about thinking through what you're going to do, is going to be what's going to work for you, at least this week. It's going to work fine, because it's just a very simple thing. If you feel like messaging your person, message them. You know, you don't even have to say anything all that amazing. You can just say, I just wanted you to know I was thinking about you, and have that be it. You know, just, it's really chill energy. For as, you know, fiery as it is, it's really chill as well. It's like, I don't feel like you're going to be feeling anxious. This is the more of the excitement fiery feeling instead of the anxiety that can sometimes be confused for excitement. It just feels like it's a really nice week, and there's some kind of balance going on. Just want to mention again on this, we've got father healing. So I again, not only is your relationship with a father figure, or your person's relationship with a father figure, going to help heal something or inform something this week, but you've also got your person really, you know, getting interested in you on a more physical level. We've got sparks, we've got that chemistry, we've got things leveling out, we've got the sun that's shining on everything. This week some secrets might come out, okay? But they'd be positive secrets. It wouldn't be anything negative. It would just be more like a person opening up to you, blooming, you know. And, you know, again, the sun just sheds a light on everything. It makes everything just a little bit better than what it would normally read as. So we have a lot of positive things. One thing I'm supposed to tell you guys is that for those of you who might be going through some kind of divorce or separation, if there's any kind of legal issues, it will most likely turn out in your favor. At least that's what I'm being told to say. So kind of keep that in mind too. I usually don't get advice about legal situations. I'm not a lawyer, obviously. I cannot give medical advice or financial advice or anything like that. But what I can say is that I'm getting this little urge to mention that too. So just kind of keep that in mind. We do have the sun and justice, and that's great. Okay, guys. So this looks like a really nice week for you. And again, I feel like this fish, like there's something more that the fish wants to tell us, but I really think it's just about each and every one of you are going to have your own maybe issue concerning either money or resources. It might feel like you don't have enough time, or you have too much time, right? It might feel like you don't have enough money, or you have too much money. Typically the fish represent having a lot of something, because fish come in schools, right? So, and with the sun next to it, it feels like this is going to be a positive thing. You guys might get like an unexpected amount of money that affects your relationship somehow, because it's really not very common for me to get information about another area of life when I'm doing a focused reading on one aspect. So I just wanted to kind of mention that, okay? So keep that in mind. It looks like a great week, regardless of what the cards say. I hope you have a wonderful week in your love life. And if you need any help at all, I offer readings. I even have a same day reading package. So you know how to get a hold of me. Thank you so much. Hi, those of you who picked the Black Heart, let's look at what your week has in store. We have soulmate recognition. Okay, so somebody's about to recognize. Oh gosh, we have a lot of really positive but very watery cards. Okay, so we have the High Priestess. Intuition, you know, intuition typically is involved when we have a soulmate recognition, okay? We have the Two of Pentacles. We do have the water in the background. For some of you guys, this might be a long distance relationship. Not all, but some of you. Just because when I see the water and the ships, it reminds me of long distance relationships. It's one of my cues. And then we have the moon energy too. So it's very, very watery. We've got the sickle with the moon there, and we've got her robes kind of flowing and looking like water there. And then we have the same moon shape here, you know, and then we've got the water flowing here. So we have a lot of moon energy, which is great. For those of you who are watching this, the week it goes up. We just came out of a new moon this week. So I would take that to mean that something positive is going to come from this new moon cycle. But I'm also getting just a lot of intuition, especially with this soulmate recognition, okay? So we do have a message. We've got the letter, and then we've got the birds. So we have a lot of communication this week between you and your person, or for those of you who are not paired up, between you and prospective people that would be a good pair. Oh my goodness, we have the Lovers. I didn't even see that card yet. Yeah, so this is number 6. In the Major Arcana, for those of you who aren't familiar with this deck, and it says love. If this was the Rider-Waite deck, it would be the Lovers card, but this particular deck is a non-traditional deck, so we'll read it as that. But just so you know, that is the equivalent of the Lovers card. And then we have Time to Move On. So that makes some sense. This isn't moving on from the relationship. Please be aware of that. I'm not getting anything like that. What I'm getting is that it's time to move in a new direction. It's time to let go of the things that aren't serving you. I feel like by decluttering, you're able to recognize more about the nature of this communication, or I'm sorry, the nature of this relationship, the ability for the two of you to communicate a little bit better. I would say most of you probably has a person in your mind that you want to know about by choosing this pile, because I'm not getting a whole lot of single energy about this. I'm just getting a lot of connecting. I'm getting a lot of communication. I'm getting this is a person, for those of you who maybe aren't as committed to this person, but are just kind of trying to see how things are going. This person really does love you. They care about you very, very much. So be careful not to hurt this person. If you're not in it, you need to let them know, because this person is, they're sold on you. They're committed to you. Or they're about to commit to you. And it's just one of those situations that it's like, if I was this person, and if I didn't, if you know, if that, like, it's like, if I was this person, I would do anything, you know, for the other. And I feel like that could be a position where somebody could be taking advantage of someone. I'm not saying that that's what you're doing. I'm just saying, for those of you who aren't sure, for those of you who aren't certain, either this week you're going to become more certain, or this week you're going to find out that your person's a lot more invested than you thought. Okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. Understand that if you have an idea that maybe this isn't the right one for you, go ahead and let it go, because this person is like really, like, they have a big heart and a lot to give, and they really want to give that to you. All right. So again, the High Priestess and the Moon, we've got a lot of intuition going on here with this water energy, and all of that kind of stuff. And we've got a little bit of clouds here. It does feel like it might be a particularly emotional week. I tend to think of the High Priestess and the Moon as both very calm cards, okay, especially the High Priestess. But we've got the Two of Pentacles here, which also kind of is a little turbulent. And I get that because in the background, the water back there is kind of, you know, going through some ups and downs. Plus, he's trying to juggle a couple of things at once. You know, it might feel like you don't have enough time to get things done, or that you're trying to figure out your priorities. If you ever are in a position where you're trying to figure out your priorities, put yourself first, and things should be very, very clear at that point, okay? And the reason I say that is that typically when people don't know what to do is because they've been doing so many things for other people that they've lost track of the idea that they've got to give a little bit back to themselves. Typically when people feel a little bit directionless, it's because they're looking they're looking to the outside to give them cues as to where to go. And where it is that you've got to give back to yourself. Okay. So that's what that's talking about, or giving to the relationship itself. But I really feel like this is a call to make sure that you're giving, some self-love. Okay. And again, we have, a lot of intuition. We do have a soulmate, recognition. So, your soul is going to be tied to whatever happens this week, okay? We've got the Lover's card, so I feel like whoever you're with, you're supposed to be with, you know, and I know that I kind of said all that stuff about, you know, the person, you know, if your person, you know, if you're not certain about that person, make sure that you let them go and all of that. I said that because it's just really important to me to convey that this person really is invested, okay? So really keep that in mind. As far as like what kind of activities to look for, your person is going to be communicating with you a lot. You might notice it, messages come in more often, maybe they're texting you more often, or they're emailing you, or maybe they're calling you, that kind of stuff. Just you're getting a lot of situations where you're talking, and you will find that your person really wants to talk to you a lot. Unless you have issues with talking for a long period of time with the same person, I would say go for it, because this is something, you know, it's a time for you guys to really build your connection. And I mentioned the issues because I have issues sometimes when I'm talking to the same person for a long time. I feel a little overwhelmed myself. It's like I have to take small bites. You know, I've got to talk to them for like maybe 10 minutes and then like pull away so I can digest whatever we talked about, you know, that kind of thing. And if you're that kind of person, don't put yourself out, you know, just to, you know, be present for these conversations, but just know that the conversations are going to be wanting to happen this week. All right, guys. This looks very, very positive. I feel like I haven't conveyed just how positive this is. You know, we've got some major arcana cards. We've got the Lovers. We've got soulmate recognition. Please interpret this the way that you want. Different people have different interpretations for soulmate, and I don't want to imprint onto anybody by using certain terms, you know, but basically what this means is that you feel almost an intuitive or a very special connection with this person is the best way that I can say it without, I guess, violating my own morals there. Because, you know, some words can be kind of triggery for some people. Like they'll hear it and then they'll like jump on it and be like, oh, well, this has got to be my person, you know, and I really don't want to contribute to that. So I just wanted to kind of explain that. If you guys are wondering, you know, is this person my fill in the blank with whatever, this is supposed to be a confirmation for you guys though. So do keep that in mind. I also have noticed that there are a lot of 2s in this reading. We've got, this is number 2 in this deck. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if it'll focus in on that. Will it? There it goes. Number 2. The High Priestess is the second card, and well, it's the third card, but it's number 2. And then we have the 2 of Pentacles. So I would say that has significance for the second day of the week. Whenever you're watching this, tomorrow, there's probably going to be something happening tomorrow. Okay, so regardless of what happens, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for stopping by, and if you need any more clarification, in the meantime, you know where to get a hold of me. It's down there in that description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hi, those of you who picked the white opalite. Oh my goodness, what a great cards. Like, we've got great cards that we're starting out with, at least. We've got Optimism and we have the Sun. That's great. Okay, so these aren't so good. We do have the 7 of Cups and we also have the 3 of Swords, okay? We have the Tower followed by the Bear. Okay, we've got new vitality, and then we also have weight. Oh my goodness. This is a little bit of a frustrating reading, but it's frustrating in almost a good way. Right now, there might be a separation between you and your person. If there is, just know that you've got a lot of good things happening, but you might be feeling a little bit lonely this week. You might be dwelling a lot on some of the past that have really hurt you, okay? And it might be a situation where some of your issues might be triggered this week, just from interacting with your person. But here's why I think that it's not going to be that bad. It's because we've got optimism, we've got the sun, and we've got this new vitality. So these all let me know that overall, the general atmosphere of your week is going to be positive, okay? But do understand that if you start feeling pain, that it might be a call to explore that aspect of yourself. Of course, if it is pain from trauma or pain from something that's really deep, you might want to think about reaching out to a counselor, because exploring your pain is one thing, but if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're just starting out and everything, it can be safer to do that with a counselor. I understand not everybody can afford one, though. So just look up any kind of research on how to do some shadow work, and that should help a lot. Okay, guys? Much love goes out to those of you who are going through some kind of pain this week, okay? I am getting that you'll get through it, though, and that it's for a healing purpose, okay, with the sun here. We do have a whole lot of different choices this week, and that can be a really great thing for those of you who, for those of you who don't like to be limited, right? But it can be overwhelming for those of you who just need something kind of simple and straightforward. So just understand that basically you have a lot of information, and you've got that paired with not really knowing which one's the best course, okay? So we can look to the other things, we've got something new coming in, we've got happiness, we've got this ultimate happiness card with the sun, we've got optimism. So I feel like it's safe to be positive, okay? Absolutely. And then we also have, with this new vitality and the bear here, we've got this new energy that feels very commanding. It feels very secure and strong. And I feel like right now, it's like this week is supposed to be a week of finding that stillness, working a little bit on your issues, looking at the options but not making a choice, staying in an optimistic frame of mind, knowing that you are about to be very, very successful in your love life, okay? Observing this, whatever is new that's coming into your life. This could be a new person, or it could be a new direction that your relationship's going. This for the better, okay? Definitely for the better. Just want to comment, this can also refer to sexual energy as well, so do want to mention that. Might be some kind of a sexual awakening or something like that for you, so I do want to mention that. But yeah, the tower really stands out for me as well. It's like the sun and optimism stand out, and then the tower stands out, is that you might be feeling a little bit lonely, and that combined with the weight feels like it might not start until next week, but you have that success coming. And it's like this spread is supposed to let you know this is coming, but for now we've got some other things to do. I do feel like, and it's funny because the first two piles, I think, both had a little similar messages on this front about trying not to overthink about things. I do feel like you're supposed to be examining it, but I feel like you're supposed to be examining it from a heart level, okay? Feeling things out. But yeah, with the weight card, we just have, it's almost like it's not going to happen this week, but it's just about to, okay? And throwing in the sun is letting us know it's going to be big, it's going to be grand. With the bear, we have something that takes a lot of command. We've got some energy that it's almost like it's like you have all these options, and then the bear is going to come in and tell you which direction to take. It's like the direction will become made known to you, if that makes sense. So you don't have to really think about which direction to go. You just know that you have a lot of different options, and sit with that. I really feel like sitting with the information that you have is what you're supposed to be doing this week. It might seem a little bit of a boring week with your love life, but just know that you are about to experience something really cool. So just sit tight, regardless of what the cards say. I hope you have a wonderful week in love, and if you need any help in the meantime, you can always reach out to me for a private reading. Of course, all of that stuff's below. Thank you so much for joining me for your reading this week, and I will see you at our next reading. Hi, those of you who picked the purple fluorite heart. Here's your reading. We've got a contract. We've got the Six of Wands. I'm sorry, the Six of Wands. No, we have the Six of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, the World. Ooh, we've got the Scythe, followed by the Book. We have Challenging Times, and we have Playtime. How interesting. Okay, yeah. I feel like this is really a mixed bag here. I want to start here. This is the clearest message to me. We have either in this week or this week specifically, we are going to be having an issue with a painful secret. Like, I feel like there's been some kind of deception going on, and you're going to find out the truth, and it's not going to be fun. Okay? What I can say about that is just, it's good the truth is coming out. And for those of you who already know what this is, like, oh, I know what that is. It's been bothering me. It's like, it's just going to be bothering you this week. Understand that the most important thing here is that you have that knowledge that you didn't have before, okay? So do look for that. If you haven't already gone through this, look for that. It might not even come from your person. It might not even have to do with your love life, but it will affect your love life. It'll affect your outlook or the way you personally look at love, okay? I feel like there's a little bit of I feel like the people who picked this pile are feeling a little conflicted about whether or not they should maybe quit and move on, or just quit and sit there, or if they should just rush forward, okay? And it's it's a big struggle. But what's coming through the strongest here is that regardless, excuse me, gosh, that sounded horrible. Regardless of what happens, there's going to be some kind of balance reached between the two of these. So don't worry so much about what you do. It's that this week is reaching a point where it's going to be balanced out. And you're going to have a little bit of that good and a little bit of that bad. But it will be balanced and it'll feel okay. All right. This might be a week for you where you enter into some kind of formal agreement between yourself and another person that affects your love life as well. This could be accepting a new job and maybe your person works there. It could be leaving your current job where your person works and accepting a job somewhere else. It could be maybe a divorce or a marriage. It could also be we've come to a point where we're going to swap keys, or somebody's going to move in, that kind of stuff. It could be any kind of contract, but it's like something's going to be made official. And because it's made official, it's going to affect your love life, okay? We also have some challenging times, but we also have some playtime, okay? So what I'm getting is so you've got a painful truth here. We've got this kind of feeling of like being pulled in two directions, which is not a good feeling. We have a challenging time, But then we have the playtime. I think that what this time calls for this week is sense of humor, okay? Being able to look at it from in as many humorous ways as you can, and just kind of grind through, because the world, you have what you want, or you're about to have what you want. You just got to get through this yucky week. I mean, really, it's just a yucky week. It doesn't look like it's going to be a fun week, unless you've got a great sense of humor. If you don't, if you're one of those people like me that don't have a good sense of humor, you can call in a friend, spend some time around somebody who makes you laugh. Maybe watch comedy shows if you're really interested in those. I personally really like Stephen Colbert. Not everybody likes him though, which astonishes me, but pick whatever makes you laugh, and make sure that you're enjoying yourself, because it fires out all of those really great neurotransmitters that keeps you from basically going crazy when you're not having such a great time. Understand, again, I really feel like the world is coming through as kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. Just so that you what you want is right at your fingertips. It's like you've got to be pulled in all these different directions first before you can have it. And it's like, I don't understand that personally. I don't get it. And what I don't understand isn't the message. What I don't understand is why the world does this to people. I just don't get it. It doesn't seem like there's a purpose there. I mean, I guess, there's a lesson in everything. I know that, but sometimes it just feels like the world is cruel. And maybe that's a lesson, that there's, no matter how you plan, there is going to be a little bit of chaos to kind of throw you off and everything. And maybe it's just to kind of learn to be like, okay, this week's just not that great. I'll just laugh it off and we'll go on to the next one, which will definitely be better. Just know, there's going to be a little bit of a challenge this week. I would say take some time for self-care, take some time to laugh and that kind of stuff. And it will improve. It feels so much like it'll improve with the World card here. I'm really interested in this contract card too. But yeah, we don't have the best week. We just don't have the best week this week. But regardless of what the cards think, I hope that I'm wrong and that you have a wonderful week. And if you need any help in the meantime, of course, I do offer private readings, and you can, just look below for that. Thanks for watching. Hi, those of you who picked the Bloodstone, here is your reading. Ooh, know your worth. Okay, we've got some kind of sluggish energy this week, okay? Because we've got the 7 of Pentacles, we've got the 10 of Swords, and then we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, so it's like, know your worth. You don't have to do anything this week, okay? Really, this week is for your person to step up. If you're single, this week is for other people to do things, okay? You don't have to put any work into this, okay? If you are putting some work into it, though, ask for help just from somebody, ask from your person. It's totally okay. Or ask for help, from maybe a friend, if it's more appropriate to ask, for a friend to help you. But it's like, I just see you having this, just really being depleted of energy and not really wanting to do anything, not really wanting to do much. Like, it almost feels like a chore to help manage this relationship. And I feel like this know your worth is like, it's actually something I said in a previous reading just today, but it's like, you don't need them, they need you. And so they've got to come towards you with their cup and make a peace offering, basically. And so that's where we are this week. We also have the dog followed by the clouds, which is really interesting here. Let's go ahead and look. We've got listen, and we have soulmate relationship. This is so interesting because I've gotten some similar readings on this in this particular this particular series of readings. We've got some similar message. So we've got a friend, but the friend's hiding. Okay, this person, if you're thinking of a particular person, you're thinking like, well, but we're just friends, or they haven't really told me that they have any feelings for me, or something like that. Something's about to come to light here. It's like they've been confused. They've been really confused. They're not just your friend. And I think that even you know that. But sometimes you just kind of go back to, well, that's what they've said or whatever. Or maybe they've said that they just want to be friends, but nah, there's something more coming out of this, okay? But just know your person, regardless if they're just your friend or not, your person's confused this week. So do understand that, but there's just the sunshine at the end. So I do feel like the Knight of Cups, and the sunshine kind of correspond. And I do want to say, typically the clouds are not read this way in Lenormand. And I want to acknowledge that for those of you who read Lenormand and are like, why are you saying that? I'm reading these intuitively, okay? And because I'm reading them intuitively, that's the way that it's coming through for me. But just to be completely transparent, typically this would mean that there would be maybe some confusion involving a friend, or maybe some dark times with a friend. Maybe your friend's going through something, that kind of thing. But we're talking about a romance, and looking at the context of the rest of it, we've got something wants to come forward, basically here. We do have this would be the equivalent of what is she called? I can't believe I can't think of her name. I'm really embarrassed. The High Priestess. I don't know why I'd blank on that word. Anyway, yeah, this would be the equivalent of the High Priestess, number 2 of the Major Arcana. The High Priestess is typically associated with the unconscious realm, associated a lot with dreams, associated with intuition and that kind of stuff. The light and the darkness, that kind of stuff. So definitely be listening for any kind of still small voices. When I see this particular card, I even think specifically that you might get some guidance through music this week, okay? So pay attention to when certain songs come on and that kind of stuff. You might want to put like a playlist on shuffle, or something like that to help guide you in some way, okay? So do keep that in mind. But I do feel like listening is a really important aspect this week for you. But this is on a personal level, okay? And it will affect how you go about your love life. We do have a soulmate relationship here that's coming through. I feel like if you have somebody in mind, that person probably is very, very special to you. They're in your life for a very important reason. You're supposed to learn from one another, or you're supposed to endure together, that kind of stuff. I can't really put a word to that for you. I'm not going to substitute specific words because they can be charged, and I don't want to trigger anybody in a positive way, just because it's just the way that I am. Morally, I'm not okay with telling people something like, for example, and I'm just pretending this is your soulmate. I'm not okay saying that because I really feel like if a person is meant to be in your life, you'll know. And nobody like me can tell you that, it's very personal to each person, exactly how they go about discerning who is supposed to be there. So that said, just know that there's a recognition sometime this week that there's a person in your life that is more than just a typical friendship, more than a typical relationship, that kind of thing. Okay, there's somebody that's there for a reason. Okay, so yeah, know your worth. I think that this is a really, really great advice, because again, it's like I really feel like they're supposed to come to you this week. So keep that in mind. All right, and gosh, get some self-care in. Try to get some more sleep, especially with the high priestess coming in. I was just like, I just panicked and was like, did I forget it again? Is it really the high priestess? But yeah, make sure you're getting some rest. Make sure that you're doing something symbolically to get your energy levels higher up, because it's really important that we get your energy levels up so that you're feeling more on top of things. Okay, because it just feels like. It just feels like almost every single request of anybody this week is going to feel like too much for you. You know, you might even want to take, if you can, take some time off from work this week, because it's like, you can't go through life depleted like this, you know? So make sure, even if it's just 10 minutes extra time for sleeping or something like that, just make sure you're taking care of yourself, okay? That's kind of what I'm getting from this. All right, guys, so this is kind of a mixed bag, but, you know, we do have somebody coming forward. We do have something, you know, coming to light, and we do have your intuition working really strongly. And soulmate relationship, a lot of people would say that that makes for a very, very good reading. You know, just be careful with the way you interpret that. All right, guys. That said, I hope you have a wonderful week, regardless of what the cards say. And if you need any help in the meantime, you know where to reach me. All that information is in the description. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate just everything about you guys. You guys are great. You're very supportive. You guys leave me some really valuable feedback. It's just really, really awesome. And I'm really, really happy that I have you guys here to meet with every so often. I am putting a lot of, I'm clearing out my schedule so that I can be posting a lot more videos, okay? So I am looking forward to that. And I will see you at our next reading.